you're a dumbass and I'm an idiot.
Right.
Maybe
I think it's likely. Except it doesn't work in most markets. And
don't speak on my behalf. Yeah. You don't know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Poses a very interesting question, and I think it's something that everybody should ponder on. There's a sucker born every minute. Hey everybody, you're kicking it with the Homeboys, and we are bringing you another episode of Moron Real Estate. I'm excited to get into this. I'm with my buddy and partner in crime, Scott Adams. You ready?
Let's do this.
Let's go.
When I was in my 20s, I wanted to be a millionaire. And when I was a millionaire, I wanted to be in my 20s. And so the idea that my future self would trade all the money he had to be poor in 20 again made me really reanalyze how I saw living life in the moment. And so then all of what I'm going to achieve in the next 10 years, I would happily give up to be right where I am right now.
It's great.
This is interesting. I was playing in a golf scramble like a month ago. Guy that we were here in the office with, a couple of my buddies, you know them all. Mm-hmm. And this came up. And I haven't talked about it much since. It's like, I was broke going through couch cushions for change in college and just shortly out of college. And, was always just wanting, the next step. But I've never been more happy than whenever I was broke. Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating to think about that. And I appreciate this guy's video because, priorities are a big thing in everybody's life. And knowing what to do with your life, what to do with your money, what to do with your time, and what makes you happy? I don't know. I mean, it's maybe I need to take inventory of myself, but it's very it poses a very interesting question, and I think it's something that everybody should ponder on.
They should, and this is something that you know my story, and I've been rich and poor. I grew up in a family that had some real successful times, and then some real broke times. And then, I've had my ups and downs in life myself. And I realized at one point that through the downs, I was just as happy or happier than I was through the ups. And it made me realize how little money matters. And I grew up in one of the wealthiest counties in the country, the wealthiest county in our state, surrounded by wealth. My mom was a teacher in that school district. And so we got to live there in an apartment, basically. And I grew up around that wealth, and I saw how unhappy the ultra wealthy are, and I've always paid attention to that. The ultra wealthy, I don't want to paint them all with the same brush, but there is a lot of unhappiness within that group. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of happiness when you're 20 and broke.
Right.
So, great video.
It's a great clip. I mean, it's kind of what we preach to that a little bit on this show and the Homeboys podcast. We're not trying to make billionaires. We're really trying to set our priorities up to take care of generations and building wealth and all of that. It's a very empty way to live with especially some of the crazy wealth like that you speak of, the private planes and
right.
Just a different life. And I don't know. I appreciate your clip, my friend. And
there's one thing that I hope people take from all of our shows, from our podcast and from this, which is we aren't preaching for the wealthy to get wealthier. What we're trying to do is help the younger generation understand the value of owning real estate. It is the greatest storage of wealth in the world. The stock market is a tiny grain of sand on a beach compared to the wealth that's in real estate. And if this next generation doesn't get on board with that, they're going to lose out, and our wealth gap in this country is going to continue to grow. And our message is trying to get the average ma and pa and young millennial motivated enough and excited enough about real estate that they don't miss out. Mm-hmm. This isn't about helping the wealthy succeed in real estate. This is about helping you, a normal person, get into real estate and get your little piece of the pie.
Amen. Let's move on to the next one.
How Mike Majlak bought a $4.1 million house with his Bored Ape NFT.
I didn't have $1.2 million in uninvested cash on the sidelines because...
Yeah, I know. That is so much fucking money.
So now we had an issue. This really was my dream home, but I didn't want to sell the ape either because I just made such a big deal about buying it. And I really liked the furry little fucker. Here's where things get interesting. Through some mutual friends, I got connected to a company called Arcade that specializes in NFT-backed loans. So the deal went like this. I would lock my Bored Ape NFT into Arcade's protocol. They would then give me a loan of USD coin against it. I could then convert that USD coin into American dollars to help pay my down payment on my traditional mortgage. They would hold on to my NFT until I was able to repay the loan, and then I would get the ape back. This was perfect, and just like that, the problem was solved, and I was about to be the first person to ever leverage an NFT to buy a fucking house. They were about to make the transfer when the unimaginable happened.
Bitcoin is down more than 50% from the high.
Investors getting jolted by volatility rippling through the crypto world.
Crypto, obviously, right now getting crushed.
Motherfucker, who is throwing all these fuck?
I feel so dumb, and I don't want to learn this. I don't want to understand that world. You know, there's a reason we're focused on real world assets because they're real, they're there. This idea of your wealth evaporating by 50% overnight because people get scared is just insane to me. Like, the only thing I got out of that clip is it reassured me that I'm right in focusing on real world assets that cash flow versus the insanity of investing in crypto and a lot of this other stuff. It's literally gambling.
It gives me anxiety almost. Like it's just, I don't understand. And yet it's like this craze that I feel like that a lot of people think that it's their ticket to wealth is to get on board with crypto or the NFTs or some of this. And I think there's so much uncertainty in it. There's going to be 10 times, 100 times as many people losing everything that they have because of it, as opposed to the person that becomes wealthy with it. I don't know. I don't believe in it. And you know what? Maybe you're a dumbass and I'm an idiot.
Right.
Maybe
I
it's
think
us,
that's likely.
and I don't know. But I'm not willing to take the risk to overcome Scott's dumbassery and my idiocy. I'm not willing to take that risk. And I think that the risk is far more dangerous than the upside, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be.
It's possible it's all the greater fool theory, which is you have to find a greater fool than you in order to sell something. I mean, it's snake oil. It could be that, and it could go to 1 million. I mean,
there's a sucker born every minute.
And it's non-fiat currency. Maybe that's a great way. Get the governments out of our money, but I don't know. I don't get it. And stories like this make me realize I need to stay on the sidelines and keep focusing on what I'm focused on.
Not for this guy, not for me either. Let's move on.
So what I would do, if I could turn back time and be 20 years old again, what I would do is look for a multi-unit property.
Okay.
Either 2, 3, or 4 unit property. Any of them will work.
Now that's like a duplex, right?
Duplex, triplex, or a 4 unit.
Okay.
Because those qualify under the federal FHA loans as long as you live in one of the units. So say you buy a 3 unit, you live in the 1-bedroom apartment and you rent out the other 2 that might be 2-bedroom apartments. You can buy that property with 3.5% down. And all those the other people's rents can pay off your mortgage, and then you use that extra money to pay down that note quick.
On its face, it really sounds great. It's a great concept. Yeah, amazing. That would be awesome. Except it doesn't work in most markets. You cannot find good quality triplexes and quads in most markets. And if they are for sale, they are either a turd box or they are being held on to by the owner because the owner knows what they're getting. So it's great advice in theory. In practice, this is nearly impossible to apply in real life. And the problem with giving this advice is, and why we don't necessarily ever give advice just like this, is because people will go out and try to force it, and they will buy a shithole and try to make it work when it doesn't.
Scotty and I have spoke across the country at different real estate events, and the one question that somebody can come up to us and ask us that completely disqualifies them immediately is, do you have any old duplexes that you offer or that you could find for me or sell for, it completely takes the level of intelligence down through the floor immediately. And the problem is, it's easy for someone to say these numbers work because you have multiple, streams of rental, income coming in. And like Scott said, it is so much more difficult. It's hard to find ones that actually truly work. The people that have good ones hold them close to the chest. They don't get rid of them. The other ones are terrible places and bad areas. It's very, very challenging, but yet it's easy on paper to try to sell somebody that it works. And then as far as living in one side, okay, if you're out of college, you don't have a wife, kids, and you're wanting to move up the ladder that way, that's fine. But it's very short-sighted for that to be your actual business model. Not saying that everything this guy said is untrue. It's just there's a lot more red tape to it than what this guy is letting on. Don't be sucked into you have to start with multifamily. That's not true.
Now, this is coming from two guys who just 2 weeks ago added three existing old duplexes built in the 1940s and are building 25 duplexes right now in southern Indiana, as well as 134 total doors.
23 multifamily
23
buildings.
multifamily buildings in northern Indiana. So we believe in multifamily. So
yes.
We aren't just crapping on this idea just because we want to crap on it and because we focus on single family. No. It's you just can't make your whole business model about this or expect your first property to be that. When they come along, a good multifamily, be ready, buy it, acquire it, add it to what you have. But just saying this is how I'm going to start and this is what I'm going to do, it's not going to work in most markets.
Or if you go back and like this guy's saying, you go back 20 years, and this is what I would do.
Yeah.
Makes me question his experience. I don't think that the guy really knows what he's talking about. Sorry to crap on somebody, but if the guy's been doing it for as long as Scotty and I have been doing it, that's not the advice that we would be giving to our 25-year-old self, which is 20
It'd be
years
the
ago.
opposite.
Correct.
Don't try to find those when you're in your 20s. All right, next.
When we hear the word recession, we think of all those words you just thought about. People losing their jobs, people losing their houses, horrible time to invest, stock market crashing. People don't realize what's coming on up right here. People don't realize that this is going to be one of the best times that you are going to be able to make millions of dollars. Here's a fun fact right here. Most millionaires are made the year after a recession, 2009, 2010, because everything is the cheapest. You hear, again, the average person is going to be getting scared. Save your money. Don't spend. Don't invest. Take your money out of stocks. Don't, again, get involved in something. This is the best time. So let's learn about this. I'm a big numbers guy. I like to go off the stats. So when we do research over the past 100 years, the average bull market, which means we believe that the stock market is going to be able to continue to move itself on up, is going to last 9.1 years, is going to have an average return of 476%.
And for those listening, bull run is up, bear is down.
Exactly. The average bear, or let's say the average recession, is going to last 14 months and have an average drop of 41%. Now that's over, again, the past 120 years. Let's again repeat those numbers one more time, okay? 9 years of climbing with a 476% return compared to a bear market, which is going to be 14 months of dropping with a 41% decline. We get it once a decade, and you're going to miss out on this opportunity. If you talk to anyone, let's say who is over the age of 25, over the age of 30 back in 2008, I bet you every single one of them regret not getting into the stock market when it was at its lowest point. If you have money saved up, right now I'm saving a lot of my money. I'm saving a lot of my cash, not because I want to keep it in my savings account, because I know a lot of people would say, oh, you don't ever want to keep money in your savings account. I understand that, but because I want to be able to have that cash liquid for investing. Right now, the S&P 500 is down 15%. The NASDAQ, which is the tech stocks, that's currently down around 20% in a bear market at this moment. If we can see the S&P 500 drop anywhere near that 40%, I'm not even waiting for 40%. I'm going to wait for around 25%.
You're just going to launch.
And I'm launching everything because I know that statistically speaking, I'm going to have the next 9 years of growth.
Bulls go up the stairs, bears go out the window. You know, it's true. It's the bull market's up the stairs, and then the bears go out the window. It's a great saying.
It is a great saying.
And he's right. We couldn't agree more. We love what he's saying. And
don't speak on my behalf.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. You love this.
He's my guy.
Yeah, you love it.
I'd love to have him on the Homeboys podcast.
Yeah, he's passionate about it. He's smart. He's keeping cash on the sidelines. The only thing we're doing different, he's talking mostly stock market, is we're continuing to buy good cash flowing assets through this period. But we are definitely keeping money in reserves for the possibility of a big pullback and recession. And I want to touch on inflation too, real quick, because inflation plays into this for people. What people don't understand right now about what's happening to the wealthy is the wealthy are getting wealthier because actual things are going up in value. Costs go up for things, and the wealthy own the things. And the poor are getting poorer because they have to buy things to live, and they have to pay more for those things. So inflation is going to continue to make this wealth gap really spread, and that's not good. So especially if we back it with a recession. So for the normal average person out there, we feel like you should really be considering investing in real estate right now so you don't miss out on the coming, on these inflationary values going up. And who knows what's going to happen. Maybe there won't be a recession. We both believe there will be. But at the same time, you can't just sit on the sidelines with cash waiting for a certain drop at all times. But great video.
I don't have anything else to add. I think you said it right, and like I said, I've never seen this guy before, but he's my new guy. I like him. I'm gonna try to pull up some other videos that he's got out there. I think that it was very well said, and I thought that he did an excellent job. But anyhow, we're ending on a high note.
I love it.
I like ending on a high note.
Yeah.
You and I get worked up, and then we have to beat the wall after.
We had a smart guy finish it up for us.
Finished up, so I feel good.
Love it.
I feel good. So anyhow, that is this week's episode of Moron Real Estate. Please keep riding with the Homeboys. We're going to do this with you. We're trying to provide financial literacy to the masses. Till next time, happy investing.